Hello guys, it's me, and I just wanted to um, make a video trying to process everything that's going on here and just basically telling you a story, like story time, my life. Anyway, I just want to thank all the people who's been supporting me since the beginning, whether you've been on my old site or my new site, which I'm not going to mention the old site because a lot of people don't like it. And well, I know some of the memories I had on there originally when it was there. I made a couple of friends on there and had a couple of really bad bullying things on that site, but at least to what I recollect. Anyway, what I want to say is that I'm trying to tell you how things downfalled in a way. What I want to say is that originally I was about to, I think, enter high school. Or either that or I was a little bit after high school. I entered high school right after my camp had ended with the cerebral palsy. Well, I shouldn't say it was a camp for typically people with cerebral palsy, but also people with special needs. And I had seizure disorder and all that other stuff. And I know I probably mentioned it in the past, but it doesn't matter, you guys. I just trying to be. Sometimes I try to be discreet. Is that the right word? Discretion about what I say, but sometimes it just slips out. I don't, and it doesn't matter because I could say certain places that I've been without actually revealing where I am. So you just gotta find the line. But that's not what I was here to talk about today. I found a site that finally understood me. And I finally went into a community of people who were so diverse. Can go from being so high functioning. Well, I don't want to say high functioning, but you know what I mean. So the seemingly high functioning, having Asperger's syndrome at the time it was called, or even some classic autistic people who have gone up in functioning level. They would say it's hard to remember exactly what the term, what they would be saying is, but that's what they would be saying around. I had just gotten into ninth grade, just gotten into Roosevelt, which is the name of my school, but my old school. I just can't do it without revealing it. As long as I don't reveal where I live, it's okay. Or anything else that's pretty personal. Anyway, I just started out high school, as I said before. I had to note this video is completely unscripted for many reasons. I was just starting out. I'm sorry, I said that 3 times now. And I had some initial problems. I met a good friend, a couple of them in fact, but had a lot of old kind of bullying coming back from elementary to, I had a K through 8 school, so it was kind of like that. And people, I was hanging out with, I didn't realize they weren't really like my friends. They were just maybe even less than acquaintances, if anything acquaintances. But yeah, when we had a job together, we did drama club together originally, and we did make a play, which was a play on West Side Story. Not, it was like a play we made up. That was like West Side Story. Originally, we were gonna do West Side Story, but then we changed it out a bit and ended up making a whole thing. I was gonna play the part of anybody's originally, but then they changed it. And I was just one of the girls that, we had original characters in the play. I only had a few lines, but they were really great. And it's all because of the words and stories I've heard through this website. This is gonna be really hard if I don't know what I said before I just said it, but I'm gonna work with my best here. Maybe if I can make a script out of what I'm saying now, but I don't know if I can. And my lines were, I can't really quote this. I think I can almost. Do you think she's trying to play me? She's acting like she's hard. Something around, you can't fool me, I'm not that retarded, or something like that. It was something to play on my disability at the same time. Because, not that anybody called me any bad names. They knew I was socially inept and awkward. They didn't exactly know everything. They knew I had, well, I'm sure most of them knew I had seizures in my K-8 school, but, is that it? Then I wrote about my friend, who I really cared about as a friend, because he was popular and took time to really, as a popular person, be as close to me as possible that a popular person could be to well, not to unpopular, but someone who doesn't really get shine the light on that much. And he was awesome. He also lived in my complex in the same building as me, so that was a double plus. And we really got close through that, but it's sort of like a Troy Gabriella High School Musical thing. Although I don't know, he never mentioned it that way to me. Maybe it was just we were in two different areas, and we kind of weren't the same, but we could relate on. I'm trying to keep my train of thought here. You know what I mean. So, my first post originally was about My Little Pony and Derpy Hooves. It was about the petition I was writing about why Derpy should not be censored, which ironically I have a poster of her back there. You can see through all the clutter that just fell around here that I had to pick up soon and reorganize, if that's what you can call it. But I know it's gonna be a long video, but bear with me for a while, because if you really want to know the story. It was fine. I mean, pretty much up until the middle of 10th grade. I was, things were going up pretty well for me. I was going into this program, which would get you college credit, and I was supposed to go on this trip. And I didn't get to go for some reason. Somebody lost my permission slip. It's no big deal, but, somehow I ended up getting messed up because of stressed out because a lot of things were going on at the time. You guys who've been moving through all of this know that, but some of you newer people or people that might have just followed me through, as I almost called it, Aspie Central, through autism forums. Pardon me. And we're back. Okay. In around March of I believe it was March of 2014, I mean. The beginning of 2014 was when it all changed, when it all was taken away from me. Well, not yet, but, I had a relative who was very sick, and another relative who was very sick. It was a very close one, I would say, not to even call a relative, a family member. And, having two family members who are both, mentally ill, things like that, made it very difficult for me. And one of them was acting out. And I don't remember what the other one was doing, but she was just sick. at times. She didn't really have problems, but she had problems when I was way younger. And I didn't even remember, and I'm not even going to think about looking at them right now. Okay, so I end up in a hospital for people with mental illness to get evaluated because somebody thought I was being bullied at school. Anyway, somebody confused the incident, and also me tripping over my lunchbox and breaking my glasses because there was a metal lunchbox and I fell on the like the hinge on it and breaking the two things at once, which is actually pretty funny. I still remember the memories of, well, I don't really remember that much of the memory, but I remember that we were laughing over it and it was no big deal. In fact, my friend actually was there with me that I was talking about earlier, asked me if I was okay. And that's why I guess it was not as bad as it could have been, Because we were alone in the drama club pretty much, in the drama club room, and that's how it happened. But they insisted I was being bullied. So much so, well, they originally, I don't know what happened, somehow I was going to end up going there. They wanted me to end up going there anyway, but they didn't, I don't know if they actually meant that, but I would end up arguing about this for a while, and then I ended up, you can call it eloping, you can call it just trying to take a break and then losing track of time, but somehow I ended up in the ambulance, not knowing what's going on, never been in the hospital overnight before, except when I was a baby, or maybe when I was having seizures, but I don't remember that. But not too, close to when that happened. I don't know when it was, but all of a sudden, my life was about to change for the worse. I was in the areas where all the rooms are. For some reason, I was looking through all the doors, and then all of a sudden, I ended up near a door, which I didn't know was a door. But actually, I keep forgetting this part. Before this, I was asking about my medicines in the hospital, saying something about an allergy. I don't know. I was kind of gonna compare it to something about when I was younger. I was allergic to a certain vaccine, but I didn't get to finish because there were two people who shoved me into what was called a quiet room, but I didn't know what it was at the time. It really scared me and made me feel inferior and didn't even say anything. I just immediately took it before they could hurt me any further. Then later on, that way that I was looking at the doors and I inadvertently was near a stop door, but I had no idea I was near a stop door. It didn't matter that I was near a stop door because they didn't even know it. If they did know it, that just was their excuse. The first moment I was picked up, I was in shock. I started yelling as much as I could for help, and then I didn't know what was going on. Nobody said anything. All of a sudden, I was in two people's arms, and then I fought with them, and they somehow either let go purposely or I was dropped. And then this continued all the way to the middle of the room where they threw me into. And you could think that's restraining, yes, but that's not where the story ends. I kept saying, "Oh, please don't hurt me," and I was very I don't know if I wasn't hallucinating, but I was just saying I have a bunch of special needs. I have special needs, things like that. Please don't hurt me. I don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden, I was thrown onto their bed, the quiet room bed. And now mind you and me, these were two semi-tall, heavy-set, dark African American ladies with braids in their hair that were curly braids, and they started doing something to me I had never realized could happen to a person in their entire lives. And if anybody understands what this means, that's all I could say. If you can mention it in the whatever comments is that I might call them below, then I will answer if you want me to. But you probably already know it's underlying. It only lasted, well, I don't know how long it lasted, but to me it seemed like a while. But it lasted somewhat of a time. Then the second person, they looked like twins, came up to me and did the same thing. And then all of a sudden, I was sobbing and obviously dumbstruck and injured. And they just ran off after that. And I had to pull myself up, literally. Um, Again, I don't want to say anything because it's too painful, and also because I don't know how to explain it fully. Because I don't know how about women and that stuff. Um, then all of a sudden, I started thinking about my friend. Right as that, well, not right then, but like the next day, I started thinking about my friend. Now, this is the most private thing that I want to mention here is when I've been started thinking about my friend. And I was thinking about sort of like what he might do in a situation like that, or that I miss him and all that stuff. It's not like I thought I could talk to him. It's like, it was like this weird feeling I was thinking about missing him and things like that, and feeling like I was gonna die scared, things like that. Not at the 2 days after, but or a day after I said, but like at that moment, I was thinking, I was calling out. You know, when you're being hurt, you call out to someone. It wasn't to anyone in my family, ironically. It was to my friend, and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that's who it was in my mind because, you know. Then they started telling me he wasn't real. And I said, oh no, I could prove it to you. I know we're not allowed to use the internet, but politely, I might ask to use Facebook to show you that this person is in fact real. And they told me I was hallucinating. Then I guess that's what stopped me from saying anything about it in the first place. Then, I got discharged, a while after without saying anything. Well, I'm 17 then already, and I don't even know what I said. I just hope that some of you can sit through this. Not all of you, but at least somewhat of as much of it as you can. And then, I was, doped up on a lot of medications. School, I went back to school. I don't know how things went, but somehow, like my friend kept me pretty much as sane as I could be, you know, with that medication and all that stuff on me. The only thing I had taken before, which was for my psychiatrist when I was trying to get services from, and therapists, they weren't working together; they were separate. But was Adderall, and I think something to help me sleep. But that was about it for ADHD symptoms. And I knew I had autism, but there wasn't anything that they really needed for that. It just was the focusing and attention. But it's not that part that didn't make me the same. Although it probably was. I just, in my mind, it's just about the tragedy and it happening at the same time as this. Well, not a tragedy. For me, it's tragedy, but it's I don't know what to call it, but you guys know what I mean. Um, I ended up somehow, some one time went by, and I ended up in the hospital again because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my wrists were slit. I didn't intend on it. I think I was dumped on medication. So much. Then when I went there to my counselor's office a while after, they didn't know. My family didn't know. Nobody knew, not even my counselor. And all of a sudden, somehow she found out. I tried to cover it up, but it's the first time in my life I really had to lie, and I wasn't a good liar. But then I told her the truth that I wasn't trying to hurt myself at all. It was just an accident, but by then it was too late. I was lying out of fear. I just couldn't, I couldn't lie like that. But I felt like I had to. Then they were gonna send me to the same place again. I was like, God no, and I told her what happened. But I was saying it in such a slurred way, and a way that didn't make sense. That maybe she didn't fully comprehend what I said. Then I ended up another hospital. Um, for a while. Then I got transferred to the same hospital I was hurt in. But then luckily the people weren't there. But then when I left that hospital, the day of that, my friend moved away, and I had no idea he was moving away. Not like he could tell me because I was in the hospital for that long, probably, that he couldn't tell me. And he probably didn't know about it too much long. If we were going to tell me. But it didn't stop there. After he moved, I was very, I wasn't sad. I wasn't depressed about it. I was really sad, but depressed. I had other friends from my drama club and some friends that he knew that kept me going for a while. But things were starting to decline, even worse than they were before. Like before the incident, right after the incident, right before the incident, because I was special needs in many ways as well. Before that, and one day, the school just in 11th grade, one day in 11th grade, the school just decided that I couldn't be there anymore, and put me on home instruction, or what they used to call it home and hospital, and after that, I was forced into, after many school visits and being afraid of, I don't know what I was afraid of, but then I messed them up because I wanted to go back to my old school. Um, but then I ended up in this, God, it wasn't a hell of a school, but it was not, it's not fair to call that because it's a place for people with emotional disturbances, but it was my hell in a way. Not completely, but it was really bad. Not because nobody made it for me. It's because I didn't belong there and I kept wanting to be in my old school. And also because of the things that happened to me. That was just like the icing on the cake and I couldn't take it anymore. I tried to explain what happened. I tried to go back. But it was too late. By that time, they just, I don't know, they couldn't understand me anymore. It's like, if the boy who cried wolf did it because he was afraid of a wolf coming to him and he did it out of fear. I can't explain it, but, and I don't know, somewhere in this conversation, I was on Romp. I mean, the site that I don't want to name. And everything started being blown. Then people started to leave. And for a while, I thought it was because, like, leave the area. And then I was emailing this one friend that I knew from her. And we were very good friends on this site. And originally I thought it was because of the way I was acting. And it wasn't. It's just because she was overwhelmed. But I feel like it distanced us a bit. And also then there was this other friend that I knew for a while. She was actually, I don't know if I should say her name on here, but she was pretty famous on both here and the other site. At least I believe so. A while ago. Me and her were pretty much on there a lot. I think. I don't really remember. And I'm gonna end this right here to end the part because it's been almost 30 minutes and I have to look through what I've said and see if there's anything more I need to say. But thank you for listening. Okay, I'm back for hopefully just a little longer to make another part. after a long time, well, not a long time, but after some time had passed since I'd just been enrolled in this new school, and my functioning and mentally began to decline so much. I stopped being able to understand the basic information. Well, not saying I could understand only basic information then, but I was a little bit further behind than the other kids my age at the time. But it started getting worse and worse and worse. And I started getting sick, and I don't know what caused my gastritis. It was just random chance. Them, the people weren't me. I mean, or maybe something else, the stress. But I ended up getting gastroparesis for a long time and getting sick. Ending up in both types of hospitals, but mostly medical places. And going to a children's rehabilitation center to get myself to walk again. I don't know why I couldn't. I think it was because I was too dizzy from the vomiting and I could not take it. My body couldn't take it any longer and just decided to flop. But what I can note about my previous is that at the time, right after the incident, I didn't tell anyone, not even my friends. And I had one or two opportunities when I could have told him, but I never got a chance to really to say anything at all, not at all. And then but then after my main friend left, that I used to hang out with, who lived in my complex. I don't know if I mentioned that because I made a few other videos that were deleted or in my camera roll because I wasn't telling the story correct and I had to go back and forth to cut off the video. So when I did started telling my friends and the people that I was acquaintances with, I went really overboard because I just wanted somebody to listen, maybe to get them, like in my head, maybe to get them caught or to get some kind of word that it was actually somebody could figure out, like, how to prove that it happened. But I don't know. But I don't know what I was thinking, but I think that's what I was thinking. And I ended up graduating with the Regents, which is a standard diploma for regular education students, but for special needs students, it's a good achievement. But I just couldn't do any more academics. Not that I did much academics on my high school years. I did more in my elementary to 8th grade than I did ever in any high school, in my high school years, because first of all, it started being so hard, and then work load and everything jumped up too much, and I couldn't walk to class as fast as like we would walk together to class. Not like in middle school, we had different periods and home period and all that stuff. It was like a K through 8, like it was K through 8, which is K through 8. So and also I would sleep through my first period class all the time. Or I would make it just in time, no matter what it was, and I still had a problem. I don't know what it was, maybe due to the new medicine they were giving me, the Adderall, or that's how I started taking the Adderall. I don't even remember, but I just couldn't get myself to come awake at a certain time for school. And I was always tired and things like that. But anyway, during this time, I was trying to get services through the Office of People with Disabilities in my area, which was for developmental disabilities. it was started in 2013, late 2013. Well, I keep thinking that. I'm not sure if it was then or early 2014, but that's not the point. And then, I just was denied the first time because of what had happened to me, I think. But as I thought originally, I mean. But then I realized it was, not because of that at all, it was because of another reason. They thought I was too high functioning at the time. But, then I had them somehow halt on it, inadvertently, accidentally. But then I'm glad that I ended up doing, because I ended up messing up the paperwork when they were trying to, get the decision made, and then it was, made, you know, based off of something that wasn't true, things like that. But not that wasn't true, but like things that we didn't have full information on. And I struggled through years to get services, and I was thinking to myself throughout the whole time. Originally, not that I'm not smart now, it still remains with me probably for a long time, but not till death. But I was trying to prove that just a good job and maybe not so high functioning autism, or you have different, levels of intellectual functioning, does not necessarily mean you cannot be smart. I was trying to prove it so hard that I don't know if I was, doing it through getting my family to do my homework most of the time, but inadvertently without realizing it, and doing but I worked really hard. The point is I worked really hard, and I was not, and I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, and I'm not like, sorry, I don't know if you caught that. I'm not behaviorally disabled. Or, I have I didn't have behavior problems, it's just that, I didn't have behavior problems in general, anyway. I still really don't. It was just that I was put on a whole bunch of medicines and things that my doctor, from my psychiatrist that I see all the time, he had to take me off of the medicines they kept giving me and, put me back on the original medicines. I only changed it once or twice. They took me off the Adderall like right after I started taking different medicines in the hospital. They kept a few of them, dropped a few of them. But the point is, he knew that I was myself through the beginning. Although I never told him about the incident, so it was much too late, and I think he forgot about that I told him and things like that. But years later, after I get an evaluation for work, and they say they want me to be in a day program, I still can't get the services I need. Then they try to get me to get this testing done, and I say, oh, why not? I might as well. And then the testing comes back later on after a while. Of something I can't mention, which I won't even mention on here, which I mentioned basically my life story, which is part of my life, which I will not mention right now. Because I don't remember it at all, and if I did, I wouldn't want to talk about it. But it ended up coming back with all these diagnoses I didn't know about, like the that disorder, neurocognitive disorder. That I thought that was part of an intellectual disability originally. I thought something of it differently. And like then a lot of times to get these videos or to get posts, I look through my old posts, but this time I can't do that because I'm sorry. Please forgive me because it's then that should not be named. I keep trying to joke about it and say that I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it either way, but I keep mentioning it by accident because I'm thinking what I'm going to say next as I'm talking, and then I don't want to forget what I said previously because it's happening all the time. But basically I didn't know what that was, and I guess nobody wanted to tell me if they knew, but nobody really knew except probably my neuropsychologist. If she knew, she probably wouldn't want to tell me what it really was, because she thought maybe I wouldn't really understand it anyway. Not because I wasn't smart, but because most people my age don't understand like medical stuff like I do. And maybe she thought I wasn't as bright as I am because of the injury that happened in my brain somehow. And the decline that was from it, and it never got solved. And I'm not sure if it's because it wasn't solved or because it just happened in general, but I'll look that up to finding out about it, whatever. If I ever figure it out for myself. And it goes to today where I don't know what I'm going to do. I know that I have services, which is, well, not services yet, but I have a plan to get services, which I already were approved for, which is great. And I'm just moving the studio so I can move on from the past, so I don't have to tell the studio like 5 years from now when I'm a big advocate or whatever I do. If I get to be good at it, I want to get it over with. But I'm just not. Sometimes I may be going through a bit of a kind of like a not a midlife crisis, like an existential crisis somehow. Just a tiny bit, because I used to think I want to work with children. I want to be a social worker or a pediatrician or a child life specialist. But unfortunately, with the way my disability works, both literally and financially, I can't do that. And I'm trying to find a job that isn't just doing, regular work, and I want to help people. I want to volunteer somehow, but I don't know if I can due to my cognitive limitations. It might not seem like it's so bad, and not the worst thing to happen to anyone, but it is pretty lousy to have. But I had to make the video like 10 times over just to get it clear, even when I was just, I could not, I know that most people don't script and these types of videos, but I literally would speak and then forget everything that I said when I spoke. And and then I talk further, hoping that I said the right thing to match what I said after. And I'm going into hopefully a day program. And hopefully that'll lead me to helping people somehow. But I just want to find a way that I can help contribute. Not that I'm not contributing to society, I want to find out like how I can be the best me I can be, basically, in terms of working or volunteering or both, and to be the best helper I can be in any form, and to work as hard as I can to help. I have to help people in general to be a good worker. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm like, Dory, I forget again. But I know I was talking along the lines of, now, and hearing now that this is essentially dementia, and a few other things. But I think it's mainly the cognitive decline functioning that has to do with all this stuff, and also the intellectual disability and the autism together. I mean, I may be a little bit biased about mental illness. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think I'm not biased to say that myself, that I wouldn't, already considered because of all the situations that happened to me. I'll insert something here if I forgot something, but I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've done for me throughout these years, everyone. it was in on either site. If you any of you are on there for the previous site, you don't have to say if you are. But and thank you for continuing to support me and what I do, and I will try to update you as much as I can in the future, hopefully without having to go back to the past anymore, because I wanted to explain the whole story. And I didn't explain half of it, but I did as much as I could. I did my best. Well, hopefully that's over with. I also have to explain more, but I could try to add it in to here. Like, I can't really make stories of myself anymore, you know. This is the one time when my head is clear enough, where I really get to thinking, where I can, somehow make a video, but, especially unscripted. That happens once in a blue moon, you know. I don't know if I can keep this up with these working the videos like I made before, but I can try, you know. I have a few ideas for videos I haven't made yet, like well, not ideas, scripts I've written out, but I haven't been able to do yet. Especially since of that you know, brain fog thing that happens when I talk and I immediately slur because I forget what I'm saying and miss my sentences. But so that's my story, and that's about it for right now until I post again. I love you guys. Bye.